Good morning everyone, welcome to my channel. So in today's video I want to work out what I'm going to do with this monogram. She's an old girl and my first thought was she would be a page within my journal, but I'm just not convinced I want to do that. If I did do that, I would most likely trim it through here and then build up. But I sort of feel like, well, I don't know what I feel like, to be honest. I've got this project and I've got the Mannequin. Let me show you the Mannequin. That's the Mannequin with her little dress on it. So I would be working onto the dress. I can't decide what colour scheme to do her. It's a case of she's already cream. Do I stay with the cream and build her full of lace pieces? But I can't decide. I'm sort of thinking a little bit about what sort of piece do I want standing in my craft room. Therefore I come back to colours. Blues or reds would be my first top two choices, and neutrals. So I'm just not sure. This monogram would be a great piece to just start and work into it. And then of course I've got my tapestry and the cross stitch. I can't decide if I should maybe unpick some of these pieces so I've got a foundation to work on, or do I walk up to it like you would any mannequin and pin on the elements, and then it eventually all gets stitched together, of course, with needle and thread. So that's sort of where I'm at. And this monogram, like, I love that lace. It's old lace around the collar, neutral through the center. So we've got huge potential. At one point I was going to take that lace off and put a skirt on there, like a linen, but I don't think I'll do that. If anything, I would probably hitch that up, maybe exposing the fabric underneath. It could also have some elements put on it. That was sort of how I thought about this skirt, sort of create some layers like that. I don't know. And this here, I love to see it. I don't know if I want it in the book. I don't know. Let me just get these two elements out. You guys will be thinking, just make a decision, girl. But I think you're all in a similar boat, actually. We've at the very start of the project, and we're making, you know, random things to match in with something one day. So you sort of got to keep your thoughts pretty loose. I had thought of using this as my base and working into this, because I don't really feel like I should cut it. I don't know why. I feel really protective of this piece. I don't know why. My $10 tapestry, I think it's because I can appreciate the work. And then I thought, well, do I take this piece out of here, reducing it in size, and then build a cluster on it that might attach to this? Do I build a cluster that might attach to this? I don't know. I do not know. It's tricky, isn't it? And then if I do build this cluster, what color do I build? I really feel like I'm being drawn to my French fabrics. That's where I sort of feel like I'm heading. I love the blue idea, but I don't have enough blue fabrics to pull it off, I don't think. And they're not vintage. They're bits and pieces from all over the place. A little bit from Susanna, but Not enough to do a whole project, I don't think. But with the supplement of the fabrics from this, the neutral and the pink, we would come pretty close to having something potentially, yeah. So, what does this all mean is the question. You're like perfect for the piece. What am I going to do? You're probably all yelling at the screen, try this, try that, try that. I think I'm just, when unsure, look, I've even got my French fabric sitting nearby here. I think I'm just going to build on this. Where's a template? Let's assume that it might end up in the book. So what I want to do is just mark my boundaries if it goes in the book. If it ends up on the Mannequin, well then the whole piece will be valuable to some degree. I think what I'm going to do is keep my options open and maybe just start playing with some lace and building around this. I'm thinking neutral, but who knows where it could go. So, okay. Sorry guys, this is a bit of a non-event so far, but see then that there. Let's just play with some lace and see what jumps out. I think the problem I got is this lace is all so vintagey. It's really a different, what am I trying to say? A different direction. So I have this collar. That was the top. What benefit is that to me? Points the eye down to here, so I can see the logic of that. And maybe this piece, if I left it hanging off, it could wrap around onto another page. What's the rest of the shape look like? So if I did a bigger piece, if I did that over to there, I'd get just about that whole piece on there without cutting it, and that'd be rather nice. Okay. Maybe I can bring that right up and stretch it up and pin it down. I don't know. I don't know. I know I don't have to make decisions just yet because we're very early in the process. And like I said, I think on someone's post, you know, they're a little bit lost of where to go. I think stop thinking about the bigger projects. I sort of have to a little bit because, you know, I've got to take this YouTube video series somewhere, so I sort of need a bit of a plan. I can change direction, that's, you know, not an issue. But, yeah, it can be quite challenging working out your plan. So I do get it when you're all commenting. I do get it because, yeah, I think if we make lots of pieces that are, let me just zoom up a little bit so you can see the whole piece. If we make lots of pieces, like morsels of things, I think it will lead us somewhere. I don't know. That's my theory anyway. So I thought I'll just turn the camera on. We'll just place some pieces around and see what comes of it. But if I go too crazy here, I'm going to end up, oh, that's a pretty little piece that could find a home. Yeah, if I go too crazy with it, I don't even know what I was going to say. Goodness me. If I go too, I don't know what I was going to say. Forget about it. It'll come back to me. I'm just thinking about this piece. I'm really liking that. I think I'm getting too big for the book. I think I've just surpassed that. And I've just found a home for a collar. And we never knew what that was. It was a little gathered piece. There was some stitching through the center here. I never actually figured out what piece of clothing that would have been. Whether it was a detail on the top of an arm, like across an arm, it was stitched here and it draped over the arm. I don't know, but I'm going to attach it there. Some treasures going into this already. It'd be good to find them a home because they're sort of rattling around in the lace pot here, and they're, you know, the more I pull them out, this is real mono, whatever the word is. One colour. That little collar or that little piece, I think that would look good on Honey Bear's dress. Let's just grab that. Oh, I must show you Honey Bear. I forgot that. Honey Bear's pocket. So I finished the B and the H, and I backed the pocket with some calico or muslin to protect all of the stitching for that. And then I started adding some little swatches just to sort of start blending in our theme that is her dress, the little blue dress. And I pinned it in a rough position, sort of a bit off center. And I can easily remove that and open that up to do some more stitching here if there's a prompt that best works with that. So I've sort of prepped it a little bit for attachment. So there's something exciting. So yeah, just some little patches. And I felt as if these patches could blend off the edge and head on around the dress. And I've got pockets for something. So that's Honey Bear's monogram that we were doing yesterday. And these little lace pieces, I really feel like at some point she could have, see how it's got a little curve? She could have a lace collar stitched onto her little dress, one of these vintage pieces. I just have to work out how I would get my round edges to where I need them. So a nice little edge there because she's only little and this collar is quite large, so I would probably have to cut it and maybe do some form of embellishment here, but that'll be a decision for another day. I think there's another collar in there as well. There's even this to a degree. Maybe some of that comes back onto her. Who knows? But the monogram's done, onto the pocket, and it's just waiting for the next prompt or the next inspiration. So Honey Bear's dress is coming along. This piece here is looking like it's just going to be a collection of lace, to be honest. What other bits have we got? It's a pretty little piece too. I've been nibbling away at that for ages. Maybe I wanted to disguise that a little bit. I sort of felt like it, well, the debate I think I mentioned is that it's a little bit like a G. So let's look for something that might, I do like this lace too. This is old. That piece there too is a bit of a edge off of a collar. Even that might be able to be modified with a couple little darts. Bring that in around Honey Bear's dress. It might be a bit heavy for her. Anyway, another day. How would I bring this in? I could do a straight line. I'm going to have the lace come over a little bit. Maybe? Oh, I don't know. It's an awful big cluster. If we're going to create numerous clusters that then all get pieced together into something, like lots of little treasures, having things dangling over like this is probably not a bad idea. It'll help you blend in other things when it comes to this edge. That overpowers that. Nope. It's too strong. We sort of need to have, go back to this piece. That's better. Oh yeah, that's better. I knew they would find a beautiful home. This was a gifted piece. I might keep working on that premise, because often the simplest things, yeah, like that. I'm going to disconnect. I guess too, by making this neutral, if I do finally make a decision and this piece becomes a colour scheme as such, I can always work into it colour. But at least I'm starting with, you know, a bit of a, yeah, I like that. I think I like it because see the curve there? The similar curve here. So it sort of feels like these are together. So whether I want that piece like that, I like that. Like that. Oh, I think it has to be like that. I can probably sneak that away there. Or make it look like they just touch, as if they were joined like they sort of once were, but not in this shape. Okay. Now, do we bring some of this old girl in? Just looking up at the TV screen. I need to get rid of some of the distraction. So I've got a clean edge. That was cut there, there. Be good if I could get this darker colour into the process, because it allows you more freedom overall if you start building in. I'll get that off of there. And it's a bit of a treasure, this one. So it'd be lovely to have a good piece of it, if not numerous good pieces of it through the whole project. I think there is a flower back here that I could bring in just to I do a little bit of tucking and weaving, merging it all together as it sort of swishes through. I know my monogram's getting a little bit overpowered, but I don't know, I don't mind that. It's certainly going to be full of interesting elements, so I think the more people look at the piece, the more they'll see. Yeah, I like that. Okay, we might have something. It's a big piece of treasures. Oops, oh goodness me, just pulled it off. Let's do that again. You were there, you were there, you were there, and you were hanging out there. So let's just jiggle that a little bit more. Okay. I need that over. It's just a case of fiddling with it till you feel like you've given each piece its place. You've honoured the piece of lace, if that makes sense. It's probably overthinking it, but I think you know what I mean. People who love textiles, we want to give each piece its space, don't we? Yeah. I need to roll my sleeves up. They're catching this lace. I think if I left, I think I could lose that. It's a bit of a funny little piece. I like how that does come together. Let's get some pins on this. So this will be a case of stitching down everything with invisible stitch. Then I need to have a good look at it and go, all right, well, what can I do to enhance it? Is it up the right way? No, that looks like the back. This looks cleaner. That looks like I can see stitches jumping. That's where the lace sort of changed direction a little bit. You know, all the stitches that make the lace change direction are I'm not even finishing my sentences. Goodness me. It's because the brain is thinking. Gee, there's a monogram in there somewhere. Maybe that collar, if we leave that attached for now, maybe something else can go in there and the collar will wish around it. That way I don't have to cut it, because I don't really want to do that. But that could be the start of, you know, another pocket of space. I think that's good. I think my mannequin's going to be a lace, a collection of laces. It's not very exciting. Maybe colour will come into it. We're back to that neutral feeling. So if I do some embroidery and things like that, where's this piece? You know, where I can do whites and creams in ribbon embroidery in places, you know, little spots where there might be something in the future. I might just trim that back. Let's give that C a little bit of air. Might even just bring that down a little bit like that, so I can see the curve of that letter. I feel a bit happier about that. Yeah. Okay, I like that. And I like how it's coming off the page, so that helps it blend to other pieces. Be just a case of where this morsel sits, whether it comes in. Let's go back to our big feature pieces we have so far, and then even if red happened, it could find a home there. Like, who knows? Like, what an adventure we are on. Who knows? Don't think too hard. Got a few spots where things can go. So whether this becomes my base, which I think I suggested in the last video, that this becomes the piece of which everything heads towards, possibly. Not that I want another wall hanging, but, you know, there's possibilities that something like that happens. Who knows? Then pieces, I'm just looking around my table, pieces of fabric to soften the merge can be placed in under things just to break that white line, you know what I mean? So that would come back, and you'd put in little morsels of fabric just to get rid of that white edge that I can see there. It's all right in a few spots, but you can certainly tuck and blend, which is what I did with the garden path piece when it was building all of those doilies into each other to sort of blend things together. But that's the fun at the end. I think it's connecting pieces. You might do a cluster, for example. There's a scrap piece of nice linen. Let's say that this became something, a treasure was stitched on here. Well, that might be able just to be joined into there. So it just continues the collage of things. Whether I get to a point where I come back through this and stitch some of these colours into this, or this is the piece that connects it all together. So then you can start drifting edges, and there might be another piece of lace come through here to join. For example, this probably isn't a great example, but say another piece of lace connects in here. See the line in that lace? I just lined it up with the line in the linen, and it just blends those two together. Yeah, I do like that. And then if I work with these these pinks and red tones, I then go back to this. I cut this out a while ago to embroider it, and it just wasn't the right tone for what I was doing. I'm not sure what it was. And I thought, what a beauty to embroider. And it didn't happen. So it's been sitting in there, and I keep coming back to that as well. You know, maybe there's an opportunity that pieces like that start drifting in. Where's the top of the screen? Drifting into the piece. Of course, the tapestry is underneath, and that wouldn't be there. So there's things like that could go on, and then these pieces work in with it is another suggestion, and it's sort of how we're going to connect it all together. That's how my head is sort of going at the moment. Whether that's on the mannequin, that's the trick. I'm just not quite seeing it drift over there. See, then I could bring in another monogram and add that to the piece. And it just starts thickening up. You can see we're sort of connecting it all here. See, there's a sleeve that someone would have worn, the little clips as it went down the wrist. Maybe pieces like that start to work into it as well. I don't know. I just don't know. And then when you start looking at little bits and pieces, there's opportunities that these little things are popped on to connect areas as well. Sort of disguise the fact that these are single elements, and all these little bits, we're sort of not at that stage yet. I think I just found this piece of lace. Like, see that lace there? If that came up here, that would connect that back to there. And the same with this, if that drifted up somewhere. Yeah, it's sort of, just looking in my stash here. These little guys, maybe one of those could come out from behind all of that, connecting. So suddenly you start getting quite an interesting piece. Gee, I'm sort of tending towards that. The pinks with a little bit of red. I don't know. I know I've got heaps of those red fabrics. Like, this was a piece I got too that I haven't used. Like, oh gosh, that just has to be with it. Maybe I'm going to go real pinks and lace and build on this piece. Maybe we save this piece for another day. I know Grandma did a lot of tapestry, but she was a seamstress. The whole seamstress thing is really with this piece. Maybe I make a measurement of her skirt, and this becomes the base of the skirt. If I was to run the tape measure around that. Her bodice is so small. I can see this overpowering her. When I placed this and the tapestry on her bodice, it just overpowered her. So I'm sort of, I sort of got a bit skittish on where that was heading. Let me just move this a bit. I'm just going to, I don't know if I'll achieve much in this video, but I'm certainly going to brainstorm a few things out of my brain. Let's pin this as if it's connecting to this, and this flower's coming in here because I do like the look of it, and that monogram is going there. It's just found a home. Now I do have that tapestry underneath, so I'm hoping to pull that out. I think the tapestry too, this is just my head thinking out aloud here. I think the tapestry is pulling me in a different direction of colours because there's that mauve in there. So I'm feeling like it's just not quite, I need to connect that to there. Okay, so we've got this little joint happening here. I think this is a whole nother piece because of this blue and the mauve and the, I just feel like that's another another thing. Maybe I'm trying to join too many things together. Let's just get this girl back in play here. I need to do a little bit of work on this piece too, because there's threads that run across here, big long stitches, and they really could do with couching down. See, it's sloppy there. That's a big thread that's outlining the bottom of that sewing machine. I need to go through, I've got the book still, and stitch them down because they're just not staying straight and true. If this was stretched and in a frame, it probably wouldn't be a problem, but because it's being manipulated and folded and moved, it's getting a little bit of wear. I don't love that piece there, but it's on the right track to be something. This one here had a half square. Do like how that sits. And it's sort of a border. See, now I don't mind that there. Maybe if that was a little bit more frayed and delicate, and this went up over it, it would feel like it's a little bit more part of the story. Oh boy, I think I'm working this tapestry, this cross stitch actually. The cross stitch is the feature. I then need to have a think about its background. Are we going on to the mannequin with it, as in the bottom of the skirt, or am I getting a big piece of calico, running a panel of that behind, and that's the base to start this whole journey on? Oh, I do like that. Like, what's the connection here in colour? Like, how good is that? You know what? G for grandma. It just dawned on me. Oh my goodness. Just dawned on me. Open that up. Okay. Oh my goodness, why didn't I think of that earlier? Let's open that up a little bit. Let's celebrate that G. Let's get rid of this. It feels like a afterthought. I do like that there. Something here. Maybe I go to this piece. Now this is actually from Grandma's stash. Goodness knows where it came from. I've been nibbling away at little flowers in it. Maybe we take an actual piece and connect it in somehow. Just got to envision it. Don't know if it's the right thing, because when I start cutting it, you're going to end up with these straggly edges. I have to think there'd be something better. Hang on a minute, hold that thought. Let's have a look in the wedding fabrics that I picked up. Maybe there's a piece. Oh, let's just go crazy first of all. Let's just super duper crazy. Just have to do it. I don't think it'll work. Nope. But it was fun. See, I've got this. Oh, hello. It's all caught. Oh, yes. Let's get some sparkle into you. Oh, that just... Just reminds me of all the beading she used to do on those wedding dresses. Sort of don't need it as big as that. Certainly softens. What if I go that way? Oh, that's better. It's a little bit softer. Oh, I love the swoosh of diamantes on there. And I like how that is pointing down. Let me bring it up. That's pointing down to something else happening here. Ooh, this is like vintage grandma meets the 1980s, 1990s. The seamstress as she evolved through her career. What else have we got in here? There's a few other bits and pieces. Don't really want to pull it all out. It just gets too messy. There was a container of bits. Hang on, this here was a smaller, gosh. So there were bits that came off. Maybe things like that will help blend it. I don't know. I'm going to leave it off for now. I just don't know. Okay. All right, here's something else. I like this. That's got potential. And these viney like tendrils of lace. That could be something that could weave through the whole project just to sort of connect it, because we've got this see-through tulle, like this is a veil, fabric you'd put on a veil. And it's got this decorative edge. So there's an opportunity that we nibble out. So I like the fact that this is polar white here, and this little bit of lace here is polar white. And then we're picking up this over here in the windows. So it is going to all work. And I'm thinking pieces like that will help. Do I cut it out? I cut it out. Oh my goodness. I'm going to take it there for now. I can always, I'll take that bit. I like the fact that the tulle is going to make it feel very textural. Let's go up here, around there. Even if I don't use it, I think it'll become a bit of an element, because I like how it's a little subtle, but it's very bridal. Oh, where does this end? All right, we'll go up through here just in case. See all these little bits? So you can't even see what I'm doing. My chair has come back from the table, so I've pulled back and I should be coming forward. So I've cut that out. Well, I think I can lose that. Yeah, I like that. I Like how I've got this tulle now coming up through my piece. Look at that. Oh, Grandma, look at you, you bridal girl. Look at all this. Yeah, I like that. I like it a lot. And then these pieces, they'll be handy for connecting pieces, you know, like when we're bringing elements in to connect areas, like the collaging is what I'm trying to say. We're collaging it together. I think I like that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pin this. I'm going to walk away from it. I've gone off on another little tucking it in there. Yeah, I think I'm going to walk away from it, guys, and just see. I don't know about that up there. I sort of feel like it could come through there. Yeah, I like it there. Just connects those two pieces with something, you know, that sort of gels it together. It's that third element. Yeah, what I'm trying to say is I'm going to pin this. I'm going to walk away from it. Now, I have, now I'm not sure what day this will be up. I'll make a decision right now. This video will be up playing on Thursday. So that means tomorrow being Friday for me, you're watching this on Thursday, I'm hopping on a plane for 4 days and going up to Townsville to visit my niece and my husband's brother and his family, and of course the niece, and it's her 21st. So we've hired a room and a car and we're spending the weekend in Townsville. And we haven't been there for years. Haven't seen them for a little while too. So it's going to be such a great weekend. We're just going to relax and maybe do a bit of sightseeing. So I have a pre-recorded series coming for you for the next 4 days, and it's working on a big sashiko panel plus 2 smaller ones. Now I actually started stitching it pre-Paris, thinking you would watch that while I was in Paris, but there was just so many other projects on the go. I didn't need it, so I pushed it back. And then I've had a couple trips like the retreat, and I thought, oh, I'll use it at the retreat while I'm away. So many other projects. I pushed it back again. So the series itself was actually created as early as February. And there's 4 videos, and every couple of weeks I just pick it up. I do a little bit more on it, and I'm slowly building this additional project in the sideline. We're going to call it the Corrine's Way Gallivanting. Watch this while I go and do something else in the real world. So that series will kick in Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I think there's a squishy bag episode in amongst all that as well. So it might even be Saturday that the sashiko kicks off. Anyway, that explains, you know, what's happening over the next few days. But there may be a video before that all kicks off too. I'm just not sure what day this will pop up. I know I've got Wednesday and Thursday available for a video. Honeybee was Tuesday. I think this will be Wednesday, and then I'll do something else on Thursday. So anyway, this is really only for the regulars that watch regularly. Everyone else who's just tuned in and is probably going, what the hang is she banging on about? So yeah, I think that's where we will leave it. I'm going to pin this, and I'm literally going to just walk away from it for the weekend. I really do like what's happening, but I like how we've started something. I might just only have to try and think, how do I get some of that pink over to here? But that shouldn't be too hard, because when I look back at those, see this here, when I look back at this, there were linens that would definitely suit, especially that one. So I'm not too concerned that I can't drag the pinks and the reds into this project. And my 2 monograms, G for grandma, like seriously, why didn't we think of that? I know you're probably yelling it at the screen. Her name was Lorna, so I had L on the brain, LL, and even J for my mum, Janelle. I had those 2 letters, so I sort of didn't see, what do they say? What's that saying? You didn't see the something for the something? Oh, I don't know. Can't see the horizon for the cornfield. That's not, seriously, isn't it? So, yeah, I think Grandma G and C for Corrine is going to join the seamstress piece on here. Now, whether that lands up on the skirt of the mannequin, it might. Whether it's a panel on its own, it might. I'm going to leave that collar up there attached. Let me slide this so you can see what I'm talking about. I'm going to leave that attached so that becomes a hole for something. I'll probably look at bringing something through here if I do this. I think I am going to do it. Bring that back there so that that square edge or that line isn't seen, but there'd be a little piece of this for sure. Oh no, there was a little piece of that kicking around here somewhere. Oh gosh, that's before you even bring in these types of, oh goodness sakes. I don't know, there was a bit of something around. So thank you to the lovely lady that gave me that. She'll know who she is. So I just spotted this way. No, stop. Enough. I think I'm going to do this, guys. I'm going to start building around my seamstress, and my monograms have found a home. All right, I think that is it. Now, just before I go, just on a sad note, dear Casper, he didn't make it. It turned out that Casper had a heart condition and was slowly shutting down. So it sort of explains why he went down the drain. I remember Dad saying when I was younger that cats do tend to go off when they're not well. They just want quiet, just to rest, and they slowly pass. So yeah, Casper spent 2 days at the vet and he just started slipping. And then with some more tests, it's quickly established that the puffy legs, I bet you've twigged to it. If there's some veterinary people watching or nurses, you probably would have twigged straight away. Those puffy legs meant fluid was building and his heart just wasn't moving it around. So he did come home, and the next morning his front legs started getting puffy. So we sort of knew, hello, something's not right. They thought it was an infection that he might have got by being in the drain and gave him antibiotics, but it wasn't. It was literally his system shutting down. So thank you everyone for your kind thoughts. I'm going to leave you in peace now. There'll be, I think, another video tomorrow, which is going to be, who knows what. Maybe I'm back on this. Maybe I only need the night to sleep on it and get stitching. Who knows? But I think we're coming to something. Anyway, I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to start my day. And I'm just going to walk past this. I love it. I love it. Yeah. This is it. All right, guys. Look after yourselves, and I see you in the next video. Bye for now.